Thank you for your time. This presentation is about Horse Heaven Gold Project. We believe it's an exceptional gold exploration opportunity in Idaho. The management team behind the Horse Heaven Project is Matt Mason, Tim Young, and Stephen Stanley. This management team makes up the Horse Heaven Syndicate. They are also the same management team that is responsible for Hathor Exploration being sold to Rio Tinto in 2012 for $654 million. They also put the land package together that created NextGen Energy in the Athabascan Basin. These are two world-class discoveries. My name is Bill Breen, and I am the project manager. I have over 30 years of mineral exploration service. I am a principal owner of Minex Exploration Company, and I have been involved in mineral exploration projects in Mexico, Western United States, Canada, and Alaska. The Horse Heaven Project is located in the United States, in the state of Idaho, and in Valley County. The Horse Heaven Project consists of 695 unpatented federal lode mining claims with 5,628 hectares of mineral rights. Idaho was ranked number 11th in the United States, and the United States was ranked number 3 in the latest Fraser Institute survey. Idaho has a long history of mining. In southeastern Idaho, there is open-pit phosphate mines. In central Idaho, there is a large open-pit molybdenum mine. And in northern Idaho, there are underground silver mines. Idaho is familiar with and has a long history of mining. The Horse Heaven Project is located adjacent to Midas Gold's Stibnite Gold Project. Stibnite Gold Project has probable reserves of 4.5 million ounces, included in an indicated resource of 5.2 million ounces with an inferred resource of 1.1 million ounces. It has an average grade of 1.63 grams per ton gold plus antimony and silver credits. It's the fourth highest grade open pit mine in the United States. It's the 8th largest gold mine reserved in the United States, and it has strong shareholders, Franco-Nevada, Teck Resources, and Paulson and Company. Infrastructure benefits. Horse Heaven benefits from the close proximity of Midas Gold's multi-million ounce advanced stage development. Benefits include a streamlined permitting process. Also, power transmission lines for the energizing of Midas Gold's mine project crosses the Horse Heaven Project area, creating upgraded roads for easier access and the potential for new exploration targets from the road cuts. Horse Heaven has pre-existing road access for both the Golden Gate and the Antimony Ridge drill targets, a great asset for exploration and the ability to receive permits without having to build new roads. Positive events at Midas Gold will be positive events for Horse Heaven. The gold mineralization found on the Horse Heaven, we believe, is related to an intrusion-related gold system. We also believe it is the same driving force for the gold found on Midas Gold's project. We base this upon geophysical evidence of an elliptical buried intrusion in 2 separate surveys. We believe that we have evidence that shows brittle structures containing gold mineralization at Horse Heaven also occur at Midas Gold. Gold, tungsten, antimony, and a published occurrence of 10 are indicators of an intrusion-related system. Drainage patterns indicate a buried intrusion at depth. Examples of an intrusion-related gold system is Donlin Creek up in Alaska of Nova Gold and Barrick, greater than 40 million ounces of gold. Dublin Gulch by Victoria Gold is greater than 3 million ounces of gold. The Pogo, Alaska deposit of Sumitomo is greater than 5 million ounces of gold. And Fort Knox up in Alaska of Kinross's is greater than 7 million ounces of gold. Topographical expression of the buried intrusion is seen in this map. The rectangular line that you can notice is the outline of the Horse Heaven project area. The diagonal line is a cross-section A to A prime that will be discussed in a moment. The circular contour lines will be discussed in a moment, and they are from a magnetic survey. What you want to notice here is the outline of the tributaries and drainages flowing, radiating off the topographical high. The contours from the magnetic survey are coincident with the topographical high. The blue dots are a 2012 soil surveys, and in the northwest corner, the gridded lines are from a 1982 soil survey. More upon that survey in a moment. From the previous discussion of the diagonal A to A primed, this schematic cross-section has been developed. We believe that this best explains the model for the mineralization found at Midas Gold and also found at the Horse Heaven. We base this upon age dating that was first done in 1984 in a PhD dissertation, and from that study, a age date of the mineralization in the Yellow Pine pit on the Midas Gold side was found to be 57 million years ago. A couple years ago, the Idaho Geological Survey also did some age dating in the Yellow Pine pit area, and from their study, they concluded an age date of 51 million years. What this means to us is 51 million years ago, a intrusion intruded the homogeneous Idaho batholith in this area, and the stresses created by this create a symmetrical fracture system in the low pressure zones, and this can be found in the low pressure fracture zones and shear zones found on Midas Gold, where you find the gold mineralization, and you also find similar fractures in the same spatial distance on the Horse Heaven side. And this is where the gold mineralization has been deposited. The soil sampling surveys that were done on the Midas Gold side before mining was completed on the West End pit is similar in size and the anomalies created that are found in the size of the anomalies found on the Horse Heaven side. A map of the airborne electromagnetic geophysical surveys of Horse Heaven and Midas Gold are depicted. On the eastern half of the map, the square area is the Fugro Digim survey flown by Midas Gold. On the western half of the map is the Fugro Digim survey flown by the Horse Heaven syndicate. There is a dotted elliptical shape depicted on the Horse Heaven project side. This is what we believe is the outline of the buried intrusion. A few years ago in Reno, during a speech given by Stephen Quinn on Midas Gold's project, he stated that one day he anticipates that a buried intrusion will be intercepted in the drill core. So far that has not happened. One of the reasons we believe this has not happened is because Midas Gold has no idea where the buried intrusion is, and we believe from the geophysical evidence, we know where that intrusion is located. The airborne magnetic surveys that have been previously mentioned. On the left-hand side is the USGS's public domain survey of a regional magnetic survey flowing over the area. In the middle of the picture, you can see the bullseye of a weak magnetic shape body, which we conclude is evidence of a buried intrusion. On the eastern side of that bullseye is a series of black dots. 3 of them are labeled, and these black dots are the deposits that Midas Gold wishes to mine on their Stibnite Gold project area. Orientation is north-south to northeast. On the west side of the bullseye of the weakly magnetic high are 2 labels, the Golden Gate Mine and the Antimony Ridge Mine. These are in the Horse Heaven side, and these are 2 target areas, and they are generally running north-south. We move over to the right-hand side of the sheet, and this is the Digim private survey flown by the Horse Heaven. This is a reduced to pole where all the data has been smoothed over and brought up to 1 kilometer high, and you can notice the bullseye of a weak magnetic body at depth. The contour lines were previously discussed on the topographical expression of the buried intrusion. Both of these surveys seem to indicate a geophysical signature of a weakly elliptical-shaped magnetic body intruding the Idaho batholith. The surface geological map of the Horse Heaven project. The boundary of the claim block that makes up the Horse Heaven project is shown on the map. The diagonal line labeled AA primed is from the cross-section of the model shown previously. The contour lines at the center of the map are from the Fugro magnetic survey showing the weak magnetic high over the intrusion. The dashed line on the east side of the map labeled MCF is the Meadow Creek Fault. This is the structure that is responsible for carrying the gold mineralization on the Midas Gold property. The dot at the south end is the Hanger Flats. As we move north, the dot is along the Meadow Creek Fault is the Yellow Pine deposit, and due east is the West End deposit. These are the three deposits Midas Gold wishes to mine on their property. The striped colored rocks on the Midas Gold property are Paleozoic roof pendants. As we move to the west, the striped rocks at the south end of the Horse Heaven property are Precambrian age belt rocks that are roof pendants on top of the Idaho batholith. The structure that runs north-south that is stippled, that is the Johnson Creek Shear Zone. This is a mega shear zone over 40 kilometers long. Inside there, you will see the GGF and the ARF. That is the Golden Gate Fault and the Antimony Ridge Fault. These are the two main brittle structures that control gold mineralization on the Horse Heaven property. The Golden Gate Shear Zone Soil Geochemical Survey. On the left-hand side is the gold in soils with anomalous values of greater than 100 ppb. This is a composite of two surveys. The first survey was taken in 1979, which was a road and ridge survey, and a 1982 grid survey. As you notice, there are two areas of gold anomalous zones. The northern area is orientated in a northeasterly direction, and in the southern area it's orientated in a more north-south direction. This follows the orientation of the Golden Gate Shear Zone. We move over to the right-hand side, and there we notice the tungsten in soils. Anything greater than 50 ppm is considered anomalous. Notice that the tungsten anomaly is concentrated at the south end. There seems to be a zonation between the gold anomaly and the tungsten anomaly. This same sort of zonation was also present in the Yellow Pine pit, where the mining of tungsten occurred between 1940 and the early 1950s, and the tungsten was zoned separately from the antimony and the gold in the Yellow Pine pit. The Golden Gate Shear Zone, there's a strong gold anomaly correlating with the resistivity and the magnetic surveys in the Fugro Digim survey. We are now on the left-hand side of the page, and we are looking at the 1982 soil grid, also with the Fugro Digim survey flowing in 2012. At the northern end of the map, you can see the blotchy area. That is the contours of the gold anomaly, the northern gold anomaly that was previously discussed. And it seems to be correlated with the resistivity low with resistivity high on each side. What we interpret this to be is there is a geophysical signature of the Golden Gate Shear Zone created by fracturing of rock and the amount of clay minerals from hydrothermal alteration carrying gold. So thus we have gold mineralization associated with a structure that has a geophysical resistivity low signature. We move over to the right-hand side of the paper, and we're looking at the magnetics. We also see the blotchy area, which is the gold contour from the gold survey done in 1982. We have a prominent magnetic high on a northeasterly structure, and the gold anomaly is on the east side of this magnetic high. What we interpret this to be is the magnetic high represents fresh granodiorite, where the iron minerals have not been hydrothermally altered, and the gold is associated with the magnetic low within the Golden Gate shear zone, where the hydrothermal solutions with gold-bearing solutions have altered the iron-bearing minerals. So we have a good correlation with a resistivity low and a magnetic low within the Golden Gate shear zone carrying anomalous gold. In February of 2016, the Horse Heaven Syndicate acquired 10 additional claims. The 10 claims added to the strike length both on the Golden Gate shear and the Antimony Ridge shear. So now the Golden Gate shear zone has a total strike length of 3.14 kilometers, and on Antimony Ridge the strike length is now under control of 1.8 kilometers. Let's move our focus into the center of the map. There are two trenches there, the upper trench and the lower trench. The upper trench is 45 meters long. There were 17 rock samples taken in this trench that averaged 663 ppb gold. The last sample on the east end had an assay value of 2,125 ppb gold. We moved down the hill 70 to 90 meters. There's the lower trench. This trench is 15 meters long. There were 12 rock samples taken out of it. It averaged 903 ppb gold across its length. The farthest sample taken on the west end had an assay value of 1,300 ppb gold. The farthest sample on the east end had an assay value of 1,010 ppb gold. So both endpoints ended in a gram plus material. In 1987, Amselco Minerals brought in a JV partner of Meridian Gold to do some drilling on the property. On the Golden Gate Hill, along the Golden Gate Shear, Meridian Gold drilled 14 RC drill holes. Their drill hole GGR31 had an intercept of 36.6 meters with a gold value of 1.51 grams per ton. GGR32 had a gold intercept of 71.6 meters, averaging 1.37 grams per ton. And GGR33 had an intercept of 54.9 meters, averaging 1.03 grams per ton. From this, a historical gold resource of 7.26 million tons, averaging 0.926 grams per ton, for a contained gold resource of 216,000 ounces. In Antimony Ridge, which is an area of historical mining where in World War I and World War II, 54 rail cars that averaged 55% antimony were mined. In 1979, Canadian Superior Mining Corporation took 23 soil samples in this area. 11 of them returned a value of 500 ppb gold or greater, with the highest value reported as 2,550 ppb gold. Meridian Gold drilled 21 RC drill holes in this area, and from that drilling, they reported a historical gold resource of 3.18 million tons at an average of 0.688 grams per ton, for a contained gold resource of 70,000 ounces of gold. All drilling and resource information historical in nature, and a qualified person has not done sufficient work to classify historical estimates herein as current mineral resources. The Horse Heaven Golden Gate shear zones highlights. Soil sampling results show two strong gold anomalies with a combined strike length of over 1,800 meters, with a width of 150 to 300 meters, and a down dip component of greater than 470 meters. The soil sample results show a tungsten anomaly with a strike length of 550 meters, with widths up to 270 meters. This correlates with a relatively low apparent resistivity on the Digium resistivity map, and it sits largely on the east side of a positive north-northeast magnetic anomaly. The resistivity low correlates with the zone of mapped north-northeast trending geological structures, and the positive magnetic high correlates with the mapped fresh granodiorite. Trench sampling shows that there is gold present in the rock. Historical drill intercepts have values greater than 1.5 grams per ton gold, and there is a historical gold resource between the Golden Gate and the Antimony Ridge shear zones of 286,000 ounces of gold. This gold resource is non-compliant National Instrument 43101. A geological comparison between the Horse Heaven project and Midas Gold's project. At Horse Heaven, there are north-south brittle fault structures controlling the mineralization. This is seen at the Golden Gate shear zone. At Midas Gold, the north-south brittle fault controlling structure is the Meadow Creek Fault. You also have at Horse Heaven northeast mineralized structures. This is seen at the Antimony Ridge Fault and also the northern end of the Golden Gate shear. Midas Gold has northeast mineralizing structure. This would be the north end of the Meadow Creek Fault and also subsidiary northeast structures found on the Stibnite Gold project. Both structures at Horse Heaven occur in low pressure zones of the intrusion. At Midas Gold, these structures also occur in the low pressure zones of the intrusion. The Horse Heaven project summary. Evidence of an intrusion-related gold system is responsible for the gold mineralization found on Midas Gold's property, is also responsible for the gold mineralization found on the Horse Heaven project. 51 million years ago, an elliptical shape intrusion into the Idaho batholith created low pressure zones orientated northwest and southeast. In the northwest area of the low pressure zone on the Horse Heaven project area is the Golden Gate shear and the Antimony shear zones, which are the structures that are responsible for gold mineralization. In the southeast zone in the low pressure area is the Meadow Creek Fault. This structure controls gold mineralization on Midas Gold's property. All of these structures are orientated north-south and northeast. The Horse Heaven project has the infrastructure and roadways in place that will be very instrumental in exploring the Horse Heaven property. The Horse Heaven project is located in the mine-friendly jurisdiction of Idaho. The Horse Heaven project is adjacent to the multi-million ounce Midas Gold deposits. We have an experienced team with a history of success. The exploration plan and budget for the 2016-2017 are as follow. We have a Phase 1 geological exploration and evaluation, permit application, and potential drilling. We're budgeting this at $500,000. Phase 2 is a drilling program with a budget of $2 million. We're looking at funding requirements. Our first financing would be $1 million, a second financing of $2 million. If you are interested in additional information on the Horse Heaven project, our contact information is Stephen Stanley in Vancouver, British Columbia. He can be reached by phone at 1-604-308-9424 or at his email at sotetcapital@telus.net. Sotet Capital, telus.net. Bill Breen in Sandpoint, Idaho can be reached at 1-208-290-7100 and his email is bbreen@hotmail.com. Thank you very much.